can't be good. So I picked up 2 hitchhikers. She was number 2. And I'm heading back up to the rental car place to see if they have my car available, and then I'll head up to Cabarete in an hour or so. So this guy's a public van driver. He just pulled over to have a meal, but he pulled over in the middle, or just in one of the lanes of the road, so everybody has to slide over, go into one lane so he can stop and have a meal right there. Don't pull into a parking lot, just pull over on the side in the middle of the road whenever you want. So this is Alamo National. The guy's going out to get the car. If you're renting a car here, you do not need liability. They will try and push liability. It's like $10 per day. I got a super eco car for it's like $12 per day. So for like 9 days with taxes and everything, it's 120 bucks. But they tried to upgrade me to a standard because they said my car was not here. I said, well, that's fine. I don't care what car you give me, just give me my rate. So I got the upgraded to standard. If I'd have paid normal, that'd have been like $250 for the whole thing. So another like $20-some per day. So again, for 9 days, I'm getting, I'm paying the whole thing is 126 bucks without liability, and my credit card has its own insurance. So you see there's a couple little dings like this, and on the side over there. Like scratch on the, it scratches on the back, on the big scratch here. The side. Yeah, good. The more broken, the better. That's what I want. And of course, all the front here, all smashed up. There. Yeah, so that's good. That's fine. And full tank of gas. No. What? Okay, so I'm in the car. I'm driving out of Santo Domingo, basically out of Zona Colonial. I'm heading up looking for one of the bigger roads. Once I get out of Santo Domingo, the driving gets a lot easier. I'm using Waze, and I also have Google Maps. I have an offline map downloaded just in case I don't run out of signal. But right now the signal's good with Google Fi. So I'm using Google Fi, and that works pretty good. Pretty much in any country I've ever been to. It's much more crowded during the week when there's people working. I'm driving on Sunday, so it's actually pretty nice, pretty easy. But I'm just seeing some horrendous traffic in here the past few times I've driven. So this is like one of the typical taxis. They're just completely beat up. Wheels are bent, and they drive kind of every lane that they can. So they're in and out of 3 or 4 lanes, and they'll cross 3 lanes right in front of you just to go pick up somebody. And it's in your best interest to avoid them. This is kind of like driving without major regulations, or without, the cops aren't going to give you a ticket here for pretty much doing anything unless you wreck somebody. I've seen, again, like I said, I've seen people pass the cops, cut the cops off, all kinds of stuff. It's really weird. Much different than other areas. Still heading out of Santo Domingo. And we're most of the way out of Santo Domingo. There was a 60 peso toll, and once you get through that, the roads are kind of like this for a while. I believe they narrow down once we get closer to the mountains and up towards the north coast. But it's nice, easy driving for now. I've seen a couple buses, and I know there's a bus that goes this way also. Most people take the bus. I'm only here for just around 10 days, so I'm splurging a little bit. Normally I would take the bus and do the budget travel. One of my other favorite landmarks to driving this is this huge, giant El Presidente beer sign coming up. For some reason, I always like this giant El Presidente ice cold beer while you're driving up to the north coast. So that's It's a Range Rover with a Che Guevara face on the back, I think. I'm not sure those two things actually go together. The rule of the road here is the bigger your vehicle, the more rule over the road you get. And the bigger trucks will take up 2 lanes, or they'll drift into your lane, and it's your job to get around them. Also, the more beat up your vehicle is, the more crazy I think you seem to be able to drive. Crazy meaning just they'll drift in and out of your lane, and they presume that everybody's going to avoid them. So if you've never driven in Dominican Republic, it's definitely different than the United States. Similar to Mexico, kind of like Thailand a little bit, except on the right side of the road. It's your job. If somebody pulls out in front of you, it's your job to avoid them. That's generally how most people do. They'll just drift out into traffic at a T intersection, and they'll eventually stop traffic and pull out. So you just got to kind of get used to it, and you got to drive aggressively if you're stuck. But generally, I drive pretty passively. I'm not the fastest guy, and I'm definitely not the slowest guy. But I've driven here for a few times. But be much, much more cautious than you would drive anywhere else, or in the United States. Other countries are similar to this. The mountains over there on the left. I know there is there's a couple towns, and there's whitewater rafting companies that set up little tours. You can go whitewater rafting up in the mountains. I have not done it, but I've heard it's pretty nice. So it is on my to-do list one of these days. The central part of Dominican Republic has some high mountains in it. That's where that fault line, that big Haiti earthquake, there's a fault line that runs through the center of Dominican Republic, and it causes these big mountains. That goes all the way into Haiti. Yeah, I had to sign a waiver saying I wouldn't drive the rental car into Haiti or on a cruise over to Puerto Rico. Roads are still pretty nice. Let's see how it goes. Yeah, this camera isn't the greatest for road driving. I can't really zoom in on anything, so I definitely need to get a new camera. But the GoPro 7, this is a GoPro 6. GoPro 7 supposedly has a better stabilization. I'm not sure if I'm going to splurge for that yet. I'll probably get the, I don't know, a Sony or a Canon. We'll see, similar to the one that I lost a while ago. So this is an example of the police. Everybody's passed this guy. I don't know if he's maybe just vehicle assistance. That guy might have just been vehicle assistance. But it's similar, either way. I'm going about 120. I think the speed limit is 100 kilometers per hour, and several vehicles have gone by me like I was standing still, so they got to be pushing 140, 160 on some of the straightaways. Lots of guys on the side of the road with machetes, so I'm not sure if they're harvesting something or what's going on, but they're walking around. They all have machetes. I know they harvest sugar cane like that, but I don't know if it's the right season or not. Still decent road, hasn't thinned out yet, so we'll see how it goes in a while. Alright, turned off the main track. This is kind of a shortcut over the mountains towards Cabarete instead of going up through Santiago and Puerto Plata. A little bit better scenery too, in my opinion. Okay, Waze is taking me through this little town.
In half a mile, turn right.
And it seems to be working out so far. It's just a little off the main drag. Speed bumps will kind of come up and catch you. And just like anywhere else in the world, scooters are cargo vehicles. And you can fit a full family of 4 or 5 on a scooter. I'm just trying not to clip anyone coming through these side streets, some people look, some people do not look. And the bigger your vehicle, the less likely you are to look. The guy behind me is kind of pissy. He wants me to push it, but I'm trying to record. And I was looking at this church, a little cathedral. It's kind of what I wanted to get. Taking the left up here. You thought those hats were only for tourists. Advertising by putting a bunch of speakers on your truck and driving slow in traffic. Something happened. Lots of drama. I think somebody rear-ended somebody over there. Glad I missed it. Going too fast on the little tiny roads with people driving side by side, overtaking each other. I drive aggressive, but I drive much less aggressive when I'm overseas. And even much less than that when I'm in a scooter. You feel much more, I think, out in the environment with a scooter. Much more detached with a car.
In half a mile, turn right.
So I think after we get out of this town, we'll head up into the mountains and then down into the northern coast part, if I remember correctly. Driving out of town, going up the mountains, the roads get much worse and a little narrower, but not too bad. The roads are a little bit washed out in some areas, but not too bad. Side of the ridge, so we're heading back down towards the north coast now. trucks out there. Still on our way down from the mountains. Looking probably another 30 minutes or so. Can't be good. Jeez. So on the way back down the mountain, probably, I don't know, we're probably still 30 minutes at least from Cabarete. I had to check the phone, but we're getting back on the flatter ground, getting out of the mountains. It's a Sunday, so there's usually a lot more trucks on this road. It's better, I think, now. I lucked out on coming on this day. Yes, you're welcome. Good. And our second hitchhiker. So I picked up two hitchhikers. She was number 2 and number 1 together. Normally coming out of that little town, they both waved and wanted to jump on. So I picked up hitchhikers at that town pretty much every time I've driven to Cabarete. It's usually people coming up into these little communities up into the mountains, and so they'll just wave you down. And I know there's a lot of shady stuff going on with hitchhiking, and again, I pass up 99.9%, but every once in a while I'll pick up, you know, some that look like they're whatever. Normally it's the collared shirt and the, you know, they look like they're going to church. These two I think were teachers, is what they said, or students. I couldn't understand. They spoke almost no English. I speak almost no Spanish, so they talked in the back while I did some video while we were driving. You might have heard them. I just looked at the phone again. So we are about 27 minutes out of Cabarete, coming down the back side of the mountain. It's Sunday. There's a lot less traffic, but there's a lot of people partying on the side of the road, so you gotta go slow. There's kids running around, and the scooters definitely much more aggressive than they probably should be. But hey, you know, what are you gonna do? So we'll see how it goes. We're almost there. At least we're almost out of the mountains. They were swimming on the other side. There's probably 20 people on the other side of that bridge swimming, but I couldn't see it because of the railing and the angle. So we're on the flat. We'll be turning left up here. This is basically heading straight into the north coast, and we'll take a left on that east and west road there. This is the big intersection, the big left turn. Of course, no traffic lights, and it's pretty much at your own peril. The guy trying to pass me on the right. Nice. How's that working out? So now we're heading towards Cabarete. So after you make that left turn, it's about 5 miles from the turn into Cabarete. And coming into Cabarete, traveling west, we're coming from the east. That used to be a strip club from what I understand. I've never seen it open. Or an exotic dancer place, adult club, whatever YouTube will allow me to say. This is a big supermarket on the right. I've come here quite a bit back when I was staying here. And I'm not really sure what my hotel is, so I'll be looking around for it. Maybe I'll do some video after. I got some huge glare for coming on that side. My hotel should be just up here a bit. Just coming from check-in. This is Villa Taina, something like that. Actually, I should look at the spelling. So they have like 3 parking spots right in front of the hotel entrance. So I park there. This is the back row. That's the building right there, the yellow one. Taina. And it's right on the beach though. The location of the hotel is great, and of course I got the cheap room, so I'm in the back of the hotel with the swamp view. But the hotel bar, the ocean right there, and this is the pool. And the rooms are nice. They also have kitchens available for a higher price, of course. This is good. safe, closet, umbrella. They got complimentary drinks for me. Little fridge available, Spanish TV, and the bathroom is nice. Yeah, very happy with it. I mean, this is, I think I paid right around 60 per night. I'd have to go back and double check, but I'm right around there. And the swamp view. Ah, yes. But the location's great, so I'm happy. Okay, I just took off out of the hotel. The puppy dog on the beach. There's still a lot of kiteboarders out. I'll go around the point the next time. I'm just getting out from the long drive, so I'm gonna go stretch my legs, take a look, see if I can find one of my favorite bars here. I can't remember the name, I gotta go look for it. The Mojito Bar? That's what it was. We'll go see. And this is kind of the main restaurant area, restaurant and bar club area. From what I remember, I'm gonna walk down to the end and then come back over. The waves are pretty good, not too big. And this is on the north side of the island, so the sun sets on the opposite side. So it's shade on the beach while it's still light out in the water. And I'm at the Mojito Bar. It's probably my favorite place. At least a couple years ago it was. So I'll have to check out a few more. Most people are sitting outside now. They have a lot more tables outside, but it goes all the way down the beach like that.
De esta grande.
So just came out of the Mojito Bar, walking down the beach, basically back towards the west. This is what the pub row kind of looks like. It's still early. It's probably it's almost 6 o'clock, so I'll probably walk by here later on tonight. So this is the middle of the week, or excuse me, this is a Sunday. I'll try it again probably on a Friday or Saturday before I come out of here. This is also pretty early, but usually it's hard to get a place on some of these restaurants or bars. YouTube. So if you can see the way the beach curls, out that way, you can walk all the way around that point and goes over to Kite Beach, and I'll probably do that tomorrow or the next day.